Hey everybody. So I haven't been on for a week, maybe two. There's been a lot going on, but one of the things is one of my computers died, and it was the one that I do most of this work with. And my work got a little busy. I teach at community college, so come midterms, I'm pretty busy with papers to grade. But anyhow, I wanted to come on and talk about what I have been doing. I seem to be like in an interesting space with my crafting, and that is that I really want to get involved in mixed media, but I don't have that. I haven't yet got that rhythm figured out. Like, if I go to make a card, I don't have to think a lot about it. I just know my products and I think, I'm gonna make this kind of card, and I just get going and problems solve themselves. When I look at a mixed media journal, I see blank pages. So there's a couple of things that I've been doing to work on that, and one of them is the mixed media morsels, and I have been definitely been working with those. And I haven't stopped working with those by any means. I am so grateful to Cat Hand. I find that most mixed media artists just play music during their tutorials, and you don't, you're lucky if they write on the screen what they're using, but there certainly isn't that I've used this product and these are the attributes and this is why I've chosen it, and for me that's sort of frustrating because I don't really want to just listen to music. I often craft while I'm doing my while I'm watching my YouTube videos, so I enjoy hearing someone's voice as part of that process, I guess. I didn't really do this to do a soapbox, but anyway. But also because I watch videos to learn. That's why I watch them. So I can only kind of learn from watching somebody work if they're not telling me what they're doing and why they're doing it. And that may be just because I'm an audio learner. That's the way I am. I'm not a visual learner, which is interesting for someone who's so interested in the visual arts and paper crafts, but that's just how I am. I'm an audio learner, so I like to be told what's going on. Anyway, this folder. So the other thing that I have just started doing that I'm really excited about is I discovered the Art Sherpa and the CAC hashtag events. I discovered the Art Sherpa through the CAC hashtag events, and I really have just been like heavy duty watching them because the Art Sherpa, to me, I can watch her videos all day. Not only does she do beautiful acrylic painting, but she also is just really inspiring. Like, she talks about things and that in a way that is really inspiring to me, both personally, emotionally, where I am in my life and all those kind of things. I'm going to put a link down to the Art Sherpa, and if you don't know who she is, you've got to go watch her. And those hats are so amazingly adorable. They are incredible. Like, I watch this lady and I think I would love to have coffee with her. She is just so real, so amazing. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but anyway, so she has these art quests that she started this year. She has one for every week, except for last week she was sick, but that was kind of a catch-up week, which I guess some people needed for that because they were getting behind. But the art quests, I'm loving them because they're, even though I'm not necessarily an acrylic artist, I'm definitely a mixed media artist. The art quests are not specific. I mean, you can do them in any medium you want, and they're your quest. She gives you some information. She sends you off on a quest. You choose to do it or not. It's like having a class without all of the grades and obligations that comes with a class. It's the perfect combination. In our quests, we're supposed to have a binder, but I didn't want a binder, and I have a ton of these. I have several of these beautiful rooster file folders. So I'm keeping my quest materials in a file folder. And I'm going to show you the first 2 quests because I have those complete. And I am in various stages on the other quests. And some of the quests are longer and some are smaller. And I tend to do more in the quest perhaps than she calls for, just because I not only want to take the principle she's talking about, I really want to apply it to some kind of artwork that makes sense to me. So I'm going to show you my first 2 quests, and then, you know, you can do what you want with that information. But I would recommend going down and looking at her quest, because if you just want to become better at this, if you want to learn more about visual arts and really explore mediums and feel like you, for me, that's what I needed to do for my mixed media stuff. I needed to be able to explore mediums and feel like I had some sort of understanding of the artistic process in order to do mixed media journaling. And I know a lot of people, and I want to ultimately bring my scrapbooking and my mixed media work together. And I know a lot of people, you know, they do work with mixed mediums in their scrapbooking, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I mean, I'm not just looking to take a little bit of clear gesso and place it on and then do the plastic wrap technique on a layout and then, you know, just do a traditional layout. That's not really, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's wonderful and freeing for whoever does that, but that's really not the direction I wanted to go with it. And I don't know why that isn't the direction, but there it is. That's not what I wanted to do, because I clearly need to go on a quest to learn more about art. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to show you some of the things I've done. Quest number 1 was to paint some pears. And of course I did the mixed media. This is clearly a mixed media piece. I picked up some canvas paper for part of this process, and it has been really a joy to work with because it lays flat no matter how much junk you put on it, which is fabulous. And I, you know, put a ton of junk on this thing. Anyway, so this is my pears, and she wanted you to do it without any of her guidance, or, you know, she wants you to see what you can do, what you know right now, and to bring to bear what you had before the quest started on your pears and do them. So yes, I freehanded these pears, but I did very much mixed media them. You can see that I've stamped into the pears, and I've stamped on the background, and I've stenciled on the, I guess it's a tablecloth, because that's what it looked like when I was done stenciling on it. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And I love this. Like this, like, it's like I'm starting to feel like, yeah, now I know what I want to do with mixed media. Now I know, you know, and I'm experimenting with these acrylic paints, and I went out and bought some paints, but they're super, super cheap ones. And, you know, she keeps saying, buy the best paints you can afford. Well, these were the best I could afford right now, but that's okay, because it's an experience, right? That's another thing she talks about, that art is an experience, and it's valid no matter what you do. It doesn't matter. The product is one thing, and if you want to go sell it in an art gallery, that's one thing, but that's not really what I'm doing here. So my experience is completely valid regardless. And I don't know, I mean, the heavy-bodied acrylic paints are great for artists who really want to cover things, but as a mixed media artist, I'm not sure I want it to cover things. Does that make sense? Like, I want to see that music note stamp in the background. So there's my pears. That was quest 1 complete. Quest 2 had to do with paint mixing and making a paint mixing chart where you take each of your, and these are the a selection of the acrylic paints that I purchased to begin working, and that's the chart I made with that. And this is my yeah, this chart's a little psychedelic, isn't it? Oh my gosh, right? It's tiny. This chart I made with my Inktense pencils or blocks. and they are intense and cool, and what's even more awesome is now that's indelible, and that's why I was really excited about them, because they're perfect for mixed media, because once you get them down, you're not going to have water rehydrate them. So I did that, and that this chart was part of quest number 2. And then she wanted us to do the another part of quest 2 was to paint the multicolored heart using every color of the rainbow. But she said it was our quest, so we could do what we wanted, and so I didn't do that because I'm not that big on hearts, and Valentine's Day is over. So what I did instead was I used sort of what I learned from this first chart right here. What I learned from this chart is which of these colors, if they put together, are going to make mud, and which of these colors, if put together, are they going to be pretty? Like phthalo green and brilliant yellow makes a beautiful green, but phthalo green and diazonine magenta, I think, make it kind of a not so beautiful brilliant green. Yeah. So some of the colors just, and violet is a tough one, by the way. Anything, when you're dealing with purples and acrylic, it's not easy to make a good purple. But I learned a lot about which colors would look pretty together from making this chart. So then I took this this canvas paper and I covered the whole thing, as you can see, with this. And then I took my mixed media morsel, number 10, I believe, is masking. And I masked, I created, I cut out hot air balloons on the silhouette and I used them as a mask. And then I coated, I used over the top of the mask, I first used gesso, because I have really cheap paint, so I needed to kill the color between to make the sky color. And then I used a couple of blues and some white, and I made the sky color. I came in and I used sort of a loose scripty stamp on the background, which I just came out so cool. I love it. And then I used some of my alphabet stamps to make your let your dreams take flight, saying, when I pulled up the masks, I outlined all of my hot air balloons with black pen. And, oh, by the way, I used archival cobalt ink for all the stamping on this piece. And let's see, this is just some paper I pulled out of my scrap box that had kind of a basket weavy. I don't know if you can see that like that. It looks kind of like a basket. See? And I added glitter. Can you see the glitter? I added glitter and gloss gel to the balloons. And then I added matte gel over the background as just a sealer, because I didn't want the sky to be shiny. I just wanted the balloons to be shiny. And boy, I'm rambling a lot, but oh, you don't want to focus. Oh, it's the shininess. See if we can get it to focus. Anyway, sorry for the rambling, but that's what this is. I'm going to close this and see if, there we go. So I'm thankful. I want to say I'm thankful to Cinnamon Cooney for her wonderful, basically, art school. She's clearly a very well-trained artist who has both classical training and a lot of personal life experience. And I'm grateful that she is doing this, taking the time to allow us regular people out here in our regular lives. You know, I've taken a lot of classes. I have taken a few classes in art in college, but they were not like basic design classes. I took a calligraphy class and a ceramics class, and actually took art methods for grade school kids, which is ironic because I'm a secondary teacher, but that's a long story. Anyway, but I've never been able to, you know, I have wanted to take more traditional art classes, but I never had a chance to, because I was working on my degree in English or my degree in medieval studies, And I just, you know, you can only take so many classes. So I'm grateful to Cinnamon for allowing us to have these quests and allowing us to define them and encouraging us to define them in our own way and all that. So that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. And I just bought a new journal today, which I'm really excited to use because it has heavy paper, 140 weight mixed media papers. So I'm feeling good about that. And I am going to get in here and do something in here. And I've got a couple other of the quests that I'm working on, and I hope to get myself kind of back in a groove, get my papers graded, and then get back in a groove so that I can make videos more regularly. All right. Thank you for hanging in if you hung in. Have a great day.